Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and join with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, all good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Not bad, not bad. And, excuse us if we're a little tired here today, folks. We're actually doing double duty today. I wanted to throw a quick plug out about an upcoming episode me and Chris just did over on the Late Night Chat Network, our other YouTube channel here. We did a episode with one of the co-hosts over there, Lewis, and talking about wrestling, all of a bunch of his favorite moments, where we watched a bunch of clips of that Lewis put together for us to discuss. We're also fans of wrestling over here, so check that out, guys. If you're unfamiliar with the Late Night Chat Network, that'll be coming out in a week or two by the time you see this episode. So check out Late Night Chat Network, and it's going to be Late Night Chat episode 180. So then we're going to be talking all about wrestling. If you like what me and Chris do here, that was a lot of fun. Hey, Chris, did you have a good time with
That's it.
that one?
Some iconic moments in wrestling. It's fun to relive them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it was good to chat about that. So yeah, definitely check that out, guys, if you want to hear our thoughts on some of the best wrestling moments over the years. Really a lot of fun. And yeah. So also, guys, as always, this is a comic book review show, though. This show here, Comic Shop Talk. So spoiler warning. We're going to be showing off images from the book, some of the art for you guys here today as we discuss the books, give you our ratings and reviews on them, our thoughts, and talk about the things that happen in the books. So if you're afraid about getting spoiled, maybe read your books and then come back at a later time, or you can navigate through the episode by looking at the show notes. If there's certain books that you don't want to get spoiled on that you maybe want to avoid, take a look at the show notes, always in the description of the YouTube video. If there's, if you want to navigate through the episode that way. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you like what we do here. If you like this show, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell to be notified of when these shows drop live every week. Usually drop around Saturday every week for you guys. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Late Night Collectors Community. So if you want to follow us that way, I also kind of give notification of when those episodes go out on Instagram, and there's links provided as well at that time. This week, we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of July 20th, 2022. And I got a couple of stragglers actually from last week as well, because my comics ended up coming in late from my LCS due to a shipping issue that we encountered last week. I actually still haven't got some of them. I ended up reading everything online last week. But there's a couple that I got this week that I failed to mention on last week's episode. So I'll be talking about those as well. But I'll let you guys know which ones those are. So, yeah. Anyways, that all being said, without further ado, Chris.
All right, let's talk comics.
All right, let's get into it, man. Pulling this double duty today, man. I tell you, this is a good time. Back-to-back episodes talking about things we really enjoy here, though. So doesn't feel like. All right, guys. So yeah, this is the I guess somewhat anticipated. I'm not gonna say highly anticipated by us, but this is the Marvel event of the summer. So to speak, of Avengers, X-Men Eternals, Judgment Day, written by Kieran Gillen, art by Valerio Shitty, or Sheety, I think is how you pronounce it.
Shitty, sorry, go on.
Yeah, the art wasn't shitty, though. I'll say that much. I enjoyed it. But Chris, I know we read the prelude issue last week, and we were kind of bored by that. What did you think about this, issue number 1 of the actual event here?
Well, I think they threw a lot of stuff out here in this one. But a lot of stuff happened off page, let's say, or I'm hoping it shows up in some of the tie-in issues, because some big things went down, but you never see how they went down. There's an iconic page there, like as panel-wise or art-wise, just having freaking Captain America bursting through whatever he's bursting through there. I thought that was great, and but I don't know what happened on Mars or Arcoa or Rocco. Looks like some bad things went down there, and I'm interested to see how it's going. I'm still not super hyped, but I might be getting hyped for this Judgment Day. And I don't know about what was the big bad there? Uranus or Thanos' brother or uncle?
Yeah, this dude right here, this guy.
Yeah,
really.
They got to get a better name for than Uranus. Like, my bad. That's all I got to say about that. But what did you think?
I really enjoyed this, actually. I don't know, man. I'm usually really down on events. So, like, the fact that we do this show kind of helps, because I do enjoy talking about them still with other, folks that I think if I wasn't doing this show with you, I'm not sure I would be checking out some of these events, but they are fun to kind of chat about. More of them are stinkers than not, as far as I'm concerned. But that being said, yeah, the prelude last week I thought was boring. I might be in for the remainder of this, honestly, at this point, solely based on the activity of the X-Men in this event, because like I'm really interested to see like what's gonna happen with the fallout of Krakoa with all this shit going on. It almost seems like the Avengers are like not even important in this. Like they're kind of just at the sidelines, and it seems like there might be some sort of alliance of them with the good Eternals, let's say, to take down maybe possibly the bad Eternals that are giving the X-Men, I guess, these issues. And like you said, Uranus or whatever there, Uranus, he took out
He took care of business.
yeah, he didn't play around in this. I mean, they kind of just did this. They kind of just, yeah, there you go.
I know they hinted at a lot of things. You know, you see Magneto's helmet on the ground, and in one of the last issues, he said he erased all of his freaking.
That's right.
Of his like whatever they keep
his data backups.
Let's say, yeah.
If they get resurrected, essentially.
So if he's dead, he could be like theoretically he could be dead. So and same thing with Storm.
Yeah. I mean, I really just thought this was like this did a lot more, I think, for the event, obviously, than that prelude did. I like the idea of the Eternals. Now I think I better understand it, even with a little bit more context in this issue, as opposed to that prelude one, is that the Eternals, one of the three things they do is they take care of the deviants on Earth. And they're identifying the X-Men mutants as deviants, essentially. So that those bad Eternals, the ones that aren't seeing eye to eye with one another right now, that Druig or whatever his name is, he basically has taken it upon himself to identify them as deviants. So therefore, they need to take them out as Eternals, as their duty.
Exactly. I like the tie-in now that the X-Men or mutants can kind of come back from or are immortal, let's say, or come back from the dead. That kind of puts them back on their radar and say, hey, we got to shut these people down. Why? I don't know, but
no, it's because not only is it jealousy, but they think it's because it's going to be an eternal fight in the sense that both of these people can come back. Eternals get resurrected. Yeah. The X-Men can come back now. We're they're fighting a war of like people that just basically can never die. So the fact that the Avengers are up in the mix, like I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. Like honestly, like it is interesting actually. They actually with this issue, I was just like, okay, like now that they're fleshing it out a little bit more, and I'm reading some of the events that are happening now in the X-Men books. That's what I mean. I think that the X-Men thing is really anchoring it for me right now because like I think that we talked about it last week. The X-Men books are so good right now. I think the books that we've been reading at least and interconnected, this event is actually very important for the ongoing happenings in the X-Men titles. Like these tie-in issues actually might have some interesting things happening in them as a result of this event. So like, yeah, I'm very interested actually with this issue of what's going to happen as far as the X-Men go. Anyways, again, Eternals, I get why they're attacking them now in a sense, but like they're probably like again in my least favorite out of the three groups in this at this point. But it was interesting, man, and good art. I like it.
I'm not super hyped, but I'm getting hyped. And you know, if this keeps on pushing on as it is, maybe the hype will justify the cause.
This is crazy. So basically, the good Eternals, with the Avengers come together at the end of the issue, and they say that they have to like somehow resurrect a god. They have to make a god of their own, basically, to get involved in this fight against the other Eternals, the bad ones that are attacking the X-Men, essentially. And they're like, "Well, where are we gonna get a god?" And the Eternals are like, "You fucking are living in a celestial, like your base of operations for the event." And so I was like, "That's fucking clever," because that's something that Jason Aaron kind of set up in his book. Now Kieran Gillen, the writer of this event and Immortal X-Men. So he's writing books on both sides in terms of X-Men and Eternals right now. He's writing those titles. Took that idea and really fucking put it into play in his plot. I thought that was genius. I was like, that's very fucking smart, actually, that he plucked that idea out of that book and he's using it to his advantage here. Really cool. Yeah. So it ended on a good note for me in that sense. I was like, that's awesome. If the Eternals get the celestial like the body alive again somehow and working, like,
well, that's it. If they can start doing these things, then like, it'll be something to see.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what'd you give this one then, man?
I'll give it a 3.5. I liked it, but it was nothing crazy for me.
I liked it a lot more than like obviously the prelude. I think we gave that a 3 last week. I'm actually gonna give it a solid 4. Art and story combined, and definitely I'm much more interested now in this event. I guess we'll see where it goes from here, but even if it's just just in it for the X-Men in that sense so far, I'm interested. I'm here for it right now. So we'll see. I don't know. It's interesting to be enjoying all these
the crossover. Well, that you should be enjoying them. You know, like you got a lot of
I've just burned,
brain trust going into these things, and they should be good.
I agree, but I've just been burned so many times at this point. Yeah. Like I'm just like, that's why I'm like optimistically being like, all right, yeah, you know, the coast is clear so far. Like it's you know, it's all right. So, anyways, all right. Next up, we got Jurassic League number 3. How about this one, Chris?
Yeah, oops. You know, I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't say I'm digging it. I think the art is freaking crazy in here, though. Like it's hard to even see what's going on.
Different artists on this issue. That's worth different artists compared to the first 2 issues on this one. Yeah. So,
but I think I'm still down for the ride, though, to see where it goes. I know you were thinking about dropping off. I'm not sure if I freaking even ordered like the last 5 or 6, but I'll definitely read them online if I don't buy them. But I think I'm going to try and make an effort to get to go through all 6. It does remind me of what's that, like a bit of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's just with color.
Right. Yeah, I didn't love this artist as much as the first artist, who's one of the co-writers. I think that is the first artist of the first 2 issues. This one I didn't really like. I don't know. I like you said, I'm kind of hanging on by my fingernails in this book. Like I think it's fun sometimes. Most of the time, I think it's dumb. The art kind of helped, I think, before, and now this issue, I didn't love the artist as much. So therefore, like this maybe was one of my least favorite issues so far. But like you said, if I'm not buying the physical copy, if you're going to continue reading it, maybe I'll continue. I'll just get it. I'll read it digitally. But yeah, this, you know, there's some fun stuff still going on here.
It's still a crazy story.
Yeah. You know what I don't like? You know what I don't like though, Chris, is that they're not really, seems like very much based on actual dinosaurs, these creatures. Like what the fuck are half of these things? I'm just like, these are
and some of the names aren't very
creative,
let's say, you know, like Black Mantosaurus or something. Come on. But you know, I still did get a bit confused. Like I think there's like 2 different stories running in this here with I guess the Aquasaurus or whatever. They should just give him freaking the same names. At least you're not getting confused. Because he had some of that Jokazard in there, but he's not really doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think that Black whatever is a dark embryo, or where they're trying to bring all the humans to. Yeah. That might result into something. I don't know if it's going to be worth the payoff, but I'll probably will go for the ride.
The thing I didn't like about this artist is his panel layouts. This is fucking ridiculous. Like this was hard to read sometimes because the way that you stack panels, like normally guys, when you read left to right. Sometimes they try to do fancy shit, some artists, but this guy, like there was a double page spread where he has so many small panels, like looking at it, like just looking at the physical issue, like I was just like, this is a fucking mess. Like
sometimes you read all through and then figure out which way the panels work.
Yeah, because even in this picture that we have up right here, guys, just to show you like what I mean, like look, like there's panels like overlapping other fucking panels, and then you got to kind of go across, and then there's another small panel on top of another one, and then and that middle one's kind of like crouching into the other panels. Like I just don't know. The layouts, yeah, are just very all over the fucking place. So not only did it make it for kind of like sometimes like a confusing reading experience, like less looking at the page, like I don't know, I just don't think it worked for this artist, this art. So I didn't really love that part of the reading of this. But yeah, you know, it is dumb fun. Yeah, this is the ending. That's the egg that cracked open, and we don't. That's the end.
Yeah.
So we'll get.
Yeah, I know. If that's supposed to be a cliffhanger or a spoiler or something, I don't even know what it's worth. But
yeah,
we'll see what's going on. I hear there's big things coming, but we'll see how it goes.
What'd you give this one?
Yeah, it's another 3.5. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
I'm gonna give this one a 3.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just again, I think it was because the art more so, and this issue as opposed and the layouts more than the actual story. The story is kind of still what it is, but yeah. Anyways, all right, Chris. Avengers 58.
got Avengers 58. Oh, yeah, you got the copy there. I got the physical here.
Yeah.
And it's still. I think this Avengers storyline would be good, doing great if Avengers Forever wasn't running alongside with it, because they're both kind of doing the same thing. They've got a lot of crazy variant characters of some popular characters out there. This one here happens to be a iron or a ghost samurai, and it's the Ghost Rider, but they're in Japan or something. And I guess Mephisto is still freaking throwing all these enemies. They're all sort of going to all these nexus points to try and catch all these. I don't know. I don't even know why they're going out there. And the one bad thing is you don't get a big, good splash page to see what this ghost samurai looks like. He's always in the background, a little small thing, and it's okay. It's a nice story. I'm okay. If I missed it, I'd feel bad. I'm glad I have it. But once again, I think this is just another breather story, just following things along. And I'd give it a 3.5, which seems to be a theme for this whole week. But
That's
it was
unfortunate.
good. But I'm not saying 3.5 is bad. These are all good stories that are moving things along. But there's nothing like cataclysmic going on here.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of stuff that I've just seen before with other characters, and they're just moving it along.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's sometimes it just like
Yeah, I'm not like I say. Like I've always tried to say this before. 3.5 isn't bad.
yeah.
It's just, it's good. It's decent, and that's.
I find that happens sometimes because just where all the series that you're reading at that moment in time are in their storylines,
It's just in the middle of an arc or something.
There's some weeks where you get that where it's very middling because they're all in the middle of these crazy big fucking stories, and this is just story long, so to speak, like you just said. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it happens. Yeah, not a bad score. I just meant sorry to say because like you always hope for higher expectations at all times.
No, I did enjoy it. Like I say, the Iron Samurai or whatever, the Ghost Samurai or the Ghost Rider, whatever he is. It's nice to see, but still not. It didn't wow me, let's say, but it did keep my interest in there, and I'll see what's happening in Avengers, whatever, 59.
All right, next up, Iron Man.
Iron Man. Here we go. Here, Iron Man 59. Another nice Alex Ross cover. And, at least this cover freaking sees what's happening. So Iron Man's in a plane there, just as a regular passenger trying to fly first class because he doesn't want to be flying his private jets there because since he's out of rehab, he's decided he wants to be around people more. There's a nice conversation he has with the person beside him, which happens to be a teacher from like an MIT type of university, and she's telling him a story about a person that she remembers that blew his face off, and his name was like, I don't think she said Victor, but it was some name with a V. And he goes, "Oh, I wonder whatever happened to that guy. He was really smart, but I don't think this explosion to his face would slow him down." And I imagine that it was Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
But otherwise, there's a hijacker in the plane that comes out. Then Iron Man has to, suit up. But this hijacker seems to get the best of Iron Man in there, and he turns out to be somebody from the Weapon X program. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going in there. I don't know if this switchback character is going to turn into something special. But once again, if there was a 3.5 issue, this was a quintessential 3.5 issue.
Right.
Like what's his name? Jimmy Rhodes, Is it War Machine? The guy that rides War Machine. He's in there. He's like, Tony Stark is reaching out to him. I thought it was a good issue. I enjoyed it a lot.
Right.
But like I said, once again, it's nothing like spectacular. Nothing. It just moved the story along nicely. I like the issue. I'm happy to have it. Like, I don't want to say a 3.5 is bad. I thought it was a great issue, but it wasn't a 4 and it wasn't a 4.5. There's nothing wowing me.
Yeah.
It was just a nice story. He pulls a little he gets stuck in a hole. I don't know how a freaking Iron Man in an iron suit gets stuck in a hole, but he does.
Yeah.
But then he tricks this Weapon X character. That's all good. But like, if there was a 3.5 issue, that is the best 3.5 issue.
Right. Okay. Cool. Next up, we got Do a Power Bomb #2. I really, really love the first issue. This is written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. And man, what a second issue as well. I mean, speaking of wrestling, guys, and the love that people have for wrestling and comics, I mean, it's certainly on display here. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of kind of fantasy-like aspects happening to this in this story as well. But like I said, there's a lot of human moments and heart too, at least so far. That's evident in this 2 issues in. I think this is a 7-issue series, I want to say. Yeah, I think it's 7 issues. But so basically, this starts out here with like where we left off at the end of the last issue. You found out there's this necromancer guy who an actual necromancer, like I guess from like the underworld somewhere, approaches this person who lost their mother, who was a wrestler when she was young, at the end of the last issue. And basically in this one, he takes her back to like, his lair here, like where he's from, and basically proposes to her an idea for her to be involved in a wrestling tournament, essentially. And the wrestling tournament, the outcome of it, whoever would win, he'd be able to grant a wish of like of theirs, he is using magic since he's a necromancer to bring someone back to life. And of course, that person for her would be her mother that she's lost. She lost in a match when, and he mentions how great her mother was and that he's had his eye on her for a while. And he used to, he got overthrown in his position of power as a necromancer in this, this land. And now he's basically living out on his own in the outskirts of somewhere, like I guess in the underworld or some sort of realm of some sort. And since he's been hiding out, he's been watching tons of TV. He's just been consuming lots of TV, and he found that he has this huge. He's like, out of everything though that I've seen that's exists on TV for you Earth, for you humans in the Earth realm or whatever, pro wrestling. This is a series because I love pro wrestling. Like pro wrestling is my favorite. And as he's explaining all this to her, she's like, oh, okay, maybe I'd be interested in this. But she says, okay, but how are we going to determine the winner then if there's an actual prize, in terms of the predeterminedness of wrestling? And he doesn't actually realize that wrestling is fake. So he actually wants these guys to wrestle for this prize in this tournament. Now she's very green. Like, she is not a great wrestler, and she's already in the shadow of her mother. And this guy here in the poster, that Cobra Sun guy, is the guy that ended up killing her mom in the match. And he says, well, you need a tag partner. He's like, there's only really one other person I think that would be a perfect fit for you. So he basically entices her into basically tracking down Cobra Sun and asking him to join her as a tag team, her tag team partner in this tournament. So when she goes to see this Cobra Sun guy, after this match where he's getting his ass handed to him here, great fucking actually like dynamic wrestling scenes, though. The artist does a great job. You can tell that he enjoys wrestling, and then he's seen a match before. He's not just some artist that has no reference for this kind of thing. He's actually busting out and showing moves that they're pulling off. Even in this match, he takes out a fucking chair of barbed wire, starts smashing him. This guy stabs him with a fork. Some shit goes crazy, but it looks like now he's like a bruiser, where he's so far along in his career, this Cobra Sun guy, that he's basically just there to get beat on. Like, he loses the match, and it seems like that's just kind of his role. You know what I mean? Like, as some older wrestler or whatever. And his career hasn't really gone the way he expected, I guess, after that, after he accidentally killed her mother, right? So anyways, when she goes to actually see him, he's all sitting all bloody there on the bench. And he's like, yeah, that necromancer also approached me about all this. I know where this is going. And he agrees to basically team up with her. And I'm not going to reveal the ending. This is the last piece of art I'm going to show off. But there's a last page reveal in this issue. Wow, what a fucking twist, man. Like, I was shocked. Like, and I read a lot of comics, guys, and that's why I'm not afraid to usually talk about a lot of spoilers here on these shows, because a lot of shit you can sometimes see coming or you hear about in the news and it gets spoiled. But this was a really great, like, mic drop kind of, like, I did not see it coming kind of moment of a reveal that's really going to make the story moving forward interesting. So I'll talk about it next issue. I'm not going to spoil that, I've decided, just because it genuinely surprised me. And I was like, okay, this is worth actually not talking about. Anyways, guys, lots of great art. Fun wrestling story with, I guess, like I said, a little bit of a fantasy kind of twist to it, in a sense, like some magic and stuff happening there. I gave it a 4.5. Very, very, very good series so far. Chris, I'm surprised you're not reading this, man. I think you'd enjoy
I might have to read it now after this freaking review.
I think you'd really enjoy it. I think you'd really enjoy it, man. Like, it's only 7 issues. Yeah, I think you should check it out. Honestly, it's very good. Anyways, next up we got Batman the Knight #7. Another great series that I'm happy I didn't stick to my guns on dropping, because if you guys may recall, I actually talked about this series a couple issues in, and I was like, yeah, I'm dropping it. Then Chip Zdarsky got announced as a new writer on Batman. I was like, okay, so maybe there's something to this series that he's going to flesh out here. And, this is a very different Batman story. This is still telling a story where he's not put on the suit once. He's going around the world honing his skills by meeting all the most skilled people that have all, are good at, like, name it, like if this guy's the best marksman or if this guy's the best, like, karate expert. Like, he's just basically owning his skills going around the world. And this issue is based on Zatanna's father, who has a long history. Him and Zatanna dated, like, in the comics, I think in the animated series or something about that. Like, they've had a long history with the Waynes. And I liked it a lot. I love Zatanna, and Zatara, his father, is teaching him, starting to teach him some sort of ways of magic, because he also wants to be able to be a good, like, sleight of hand magician type guy, know how to deal with magic. He actually wants to go fully, like, and actually learn, like, magic, but he doesn't understand the fact that Zatara and Zatanna actually can wield real magic. At this point in time, he doesn't actually believe that there's these kind of things that exist in the world, right? Because he's not really Batman at this point in that sense. But anyways, Zatara is approached by a demon that he has some problems with here in this issue, and him and Zatanna basically got to help him out. And she puts, like, a bunch of shit over him, like, and they have, like, some sort of, like, blood ritual shit, so he can basically go and fight this demon and help out her father, who's got problems with him. So, and he basically outsmarts him. Like, he pulls, like, like a John Constantine type of, he does beat the shit out of him too. But, like, in the end, Zatanna and him, and Zatara actually end up taking this demon down. And, at the end, they're just sitting there by the bar, sharing a drink and, reminiscing about life and everything, about his regrets, the fact that his parents died, this kind of shit. But it's nice because they actually get, like, some personal moments together. And he says to Bruce, the big takeaway line that I like from this issue is that he says to Bruce, Chris, that magic, basically you have to sacrifice something. Like, it requires a sacrifice, and you're so dark inside, you have nothing else to essentially give. Like, you've already, you know what I mean? All your time is spent and expelled and energy on basically what you're basically trying to do right now. So you actually have nothing that you can give up in terms of
magic for you.
Exactly. And then by the end, he kind of has moved on with his journey by the end of this. That's why he's sharing a drink at the bar, and he's basically like, yeah, move on. Like, this isn't for you.
I guess he learned all the parlor tricks, how to kind of disappear when someone's not looking.
Yeah. So it really great issue. #6, I got late on my shipping list. I actually just read 6 and 7 together this week. 6 was fantastic, even better than this issue. But this #7, I'll give a 4. Great issue, great series. I'm definitely gonna double dip when the collected edition comes out for this now. I'm glad I didn't drop it. Great series, guys. If you want a different kind of, like, out of left field type of, like, Batman story, you're not seeing him with the suit at all whatsoever, 7 issues in out of a 10 issue series. It's a great one. Really check it out. All right, next up we got DC versus Vampires All Out War #1. Did you get any fancy cover there, Chris?
I do have a fancy cover.
Take a look here. Oh yeah, it's hard to see.
Superman. It's hard to see though, but
who's the other guy over there? Superman and
got Superman and Wonder Woman, and they got a bunch of people in the background.
Oh, okay, cool.
Kind of stand in the shadows.
Right. So this is the another of another spin-off miniseries, 6-issue miniseries about what's going on basically in the world of DC versus vampires. What did you think of this one, Chris?
Well, I was hyped to get this, that's for sure. But once it kind of opened up and started reading it, wasn't a big fan of that sort of what's that, black, white, and blood sort of color scheme. You know, the story characters were all there, but I don't know, it just kind of fell flat for me.
I
I don't know.
agree with
What
you.
do you think?
I agree with you. I actually was not expecting the color scheme for the art to be this. I think it's a choice. It's an interesting choice. Does it serve this series well for any reason? I don't think so. I don't think they should have went with it because especially
Yeah,
because
I wanted full color on this for sure.
yeah, I mean it's not bad. Like I don't think it's like bad art or bad like, but I don't know why they had to set themselves apart with this book because
Yeah.
we've already did the one shots of DC versus vampire. Like, I guess maybe they felt like, oh, this is another DC versus, so we got to like shit. So I'm not sure. I agree with you. I don't think it was the best choice. I didn't love
Yeah,
it.
I've liked all the, I've loved DC versus vampires. I think the art here is great. And, I've loved the hunters and killers. Like what's that? The Killers is my favorite comic the other day, so I was expecting a lot out of this. Get a nice super cover. And I don't know, I didn't really like this one at all.
I do really like again the fact that they're focusing on a lot of like C and D list type villains and heroes in this though. Like I
Yep.
really like people that are popping up in this. Like you're seeing like the you got Deathstroke, the guy Damage, you got not the Atom. What the fuck is this guy's? Oh, it is Captain Atom. Captain Atom. You got Vigilante was in this for a moment.
I like seeing all these people here, but I don't know,
Yeah.
it fell flat for me. Like everything was there to be good, but it just wasn't good.
Booster Gold, Azrael. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
good mix of characters you don't
yeah, it was
normally
good.
in this. So yeah, no, I'm with you though. The art did kind of affect it for me as well in that sense. But the story's not bad so far. I mean, this is kind of focusing on, I guess, another group of survivors from the DC versus vampire
Yeah.
stuff. It is definitely tying into the main series now because they do mention John Constantine comes and visits them at one point. I guess his ethereal, like his ghostly form or whatever.
Yeah, natural form or something there.
Yeah, so he just showed up in the main series, and now they kind of showed him touching base with all these guys right now, catching up with all this group of heroes and stuff like that. I really like the idea of Captain Atom, who was basically powering all of the actual like I guess artificial light and all this shit so they can grow their food and all this. Like that sunlight, that was really cool. Like they were using him for a battery and this kind of thing. And so there's still some neat ideas happening in this. And but yeah, I wouldn't say I like this as much as the main series or even those one shots that you just mentioned. Yeah, no, this is definitely all right.
This has been the worst of a good thing, like it's not like that it's bad, but everything else has been so great. And this has just been average, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for more from this All Out War, maybe since it's a three issue series. Maybe they're going to build up for something where the other ones were one shot so that they'll lay everything out on the line right off the bat.
This one's 6. No, this one's 6 issues, actually. This one's 6
Because
issues.
All Out War is 6?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, yeah. So maybe there's some time to flesh things out, but I hope they freaking put it all in full color soon.
Yeah. I wouldn't think so, to be honest.
Yeah.
If they've chosen to do this the first issue, I think this is probably what the colors are going to be throughout the whole thing. But that all being said, I still enjoyed it enough. I'm going to stick with it just because I'm interested in this whole DC.
Oh, yeah, I'll stick with it. But yeah, once again, I like a broken record today, but 3.5 for me.
Me too. Yeah, I agree with you on that on 3.5 on this one. And I think it's mostly due to the art for me. I think the colors. I think I agree with you. I don't think there was a need for it. I don't know why they chose it.
Yeah, I know why they, but like, if they just said it was like All Out War, black, white, and red or something,
yeah,
I might have laid off it. But
yeah, no, for sure. Okay, next up, She-Hulk.
Ooh, She-Hulk here. Awesome cover. Ooh, there you go. I don't have to show you that one.
Yeah,
nice. The sweet cover. What's that? Jen Bartel or something like that?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep, that looks like her.
That was a decent issue. Not my favorite issue out of the 5. This might have been my least favorite. I feel bad, but it's still good. You know, like I think the last issue, there's this big guy here. You know, he was going after Jack of Hearts because he knew him for some reason. And then you find out, you know, through the story that he's just going after Jack of Hearts because he likes nursery rhymes and he looks like Jack of Hearts. It's like, I don't know, come on, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
But you know, he's there at the end of the story too, so maybe that's going to lead to something. Once again, I think this is just another issue that's, you know, taking a deep breath, and we'll see where things go from there. But you know, I do still like, you know, the relationship now between whatever Jack of Hearts and She Hulk. You know, she goes back to I guess her human form a while in there. It's nice to see her. Like she gets her ass kicked by that big guy there for a bit until she decides to, I don't know, I guess really step it up. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm still enjoying this series. They're still not, if they're keeping out these awesome covers, which, you know, from the solicitation, they still look like they're knocking them out of the park. I'm gonna keep on following this story, and I'll see where it goes. But once again, like I say, you know, it wasn't bad, wasn't good. I'll tell you what it was. It was 3.5.
All right, there you have it, man. Can't make this shit up.
Sorry, it's just the way it goes sometimes.
All good, yeah. No need to apologize.
Oh, and Catwoman. Oh,
that's your crazy cover for this one, though. This is a nice
cover. I did get a nice cover for this.
Yeah,
with a Jenny Frison cover. Yeah. A little meow on the back.
Very nice.
I'm getting a little bit confused with this one and Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn was riding with Catwoman in a while. But I guess this one here, Catwoman is back. This does have a nice tie-in to Batman 125. Because you remember where Batman 125, where Batman's calling up Catwoman, and then you see her, you know, kind of almost in her underwear. And then freaking the other guy's just kind of popping out of the shower saying, "Hey, are you ordering takeout?"
Yeah.
So it kind of gives her side of the story, and it's not as salacious as it may seem. So I thought that was a nice.
Come on.
I thought that was a nice. Well, it was nice for Batman. You know, you gotta feel bad for that guy there. You know, I think Catwoman's out there freaking doing the nasty with somebody else, but she was undressed because I guess she had a wound to her leg and somebody was tending to it. I guess there you can see it right now.
Yeah.
And then you know, if you go through the next few panels, that's where Batman calls, and this guy just comes out of the shower or out of the washroom. So when you see it from the other side, from Batman 125, I thought that was the best part of the comic. And a lot of the other stuff is just, I guess she's giving a lot of trouble to Robin, who's trying to kind of clean up the city. But she's kind of got everything under lock and key. And I guess he's messing things up. So it's nice seeing Nightwing in there. It's nice seeing how all the I guess the Bat titles kind of are merging or intertwined, let's say.
Yeah, that is nice.
I was going to give this a 3.5, but even just after talking about it, I think it was a bit better. That's a 3.75 easy.
Nice. Yeah,
that was a good issue. You know, a nice super cover. I'm happy that I'm enjoying Catwoman. I think it's like a good Batman title, but with Catwoman.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad to hear it's good. All right, that was Catwoman. Next up, we got Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Kin, number 3. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, I mean, this book's fucking crazy, man. This is something else, this book. I'm glad we got these new views set up here so I can kind of maybe show you a little bit more clearer some of the artwork and the craziness of this title. I think it was hard to capture it before with the drop down kind of view camera that I had with the physical issue. But yeah, where we left off the last issue, this weird, I don't know, like little person that's in this like purple doll costume thing that was was riding like a jellyfish through the wastelands. Essentially, he was like, these are actual words are coming out of my mouth for this book. Yes, this is very strange. He was fighting the Shaolin Cowboy in like the desert somewhere, and then he like made one of these crows that he had like really huge, as you can see here, and they started attacking him, and he took one of them out and it collapsed on him here during the fight. And then he ends up like grabbing like little rocks from the sand and basically like kung fu like fucking flicking them at him and basically taking him down and taking like out all his instruments. That's basically the thing moving this big jellyfish that's floating through the air. So yeah, just crazy fucking shit, but very crazy detailed art, awesome like funny moments, and like great action. And yeah, he just basically continues to fight him in the desert, and then this big like Komodo dragon type thing comes and starts like trying to attack him. And this is the best sequence of the whole issue. He has his hat there that the Komodo dragon hits, and he ends up catching it in his hand. And as you can see in the panel there's some, he presses like on a chain that's connected to his hat, and meanwhile he's got this big oversized crow like on, he's like underneath him, right? So he's like he can't get out from underneath him, so he's like he can't do much, right? So he's trying to like fend off these things that are attacking him. So he has these like crazy razors inside of his fucking hat, it looks like. And then he just like lassos it around the head of this fucking Komodo dragon creature that's like attacking him, and yanks on it and basically just takes off his whole head. Like the whole thing just comes flying off. I'm just like, it's just so weird and creative. And I'm just like, I would not have expected that to happen. Like he's actually fighting somehow and surviving while underneath this, this big creature that's like sitting on him. Right. And I don't know, by the end of it, the jellyfish that he's been basically controlling, this weird man that's been attacking him, gets pissed off and basically fucking kills him. But before that, he transforms, like as you can see here, he like, I don't know, he starts like getting all gross and transforming basically into this other weird creature. And then all of his, like, he basically just becomes like a bunch of like, I don't know, like crocodile head things that are just attacking him. Like, so it's just, or like weird, like dinosaur head. I don't know what the hell's going on in this book, guys. As you can see, look at the art. It's hard to describe, but like he just morphs into some like bunch of weird creatures and he just starts attacking him. But again, I'm along for the ride. It's fun. It's great art. It's great action. If you don't care too much about like a like a plot or a huge storyline or something like that, then definitely check this book out, because I think it's worth it, the admission alone, just based off the artwork. And yeah, now basically by the end of this issue, he has to deal with a huge fucking jellyfish that's going to attack him. So that's what we got to look for next issue. So I give us a 4.
Nice.
Based on the art. If I had to give something based on the story, I'd give it more like a 3.5, because like I said, it's very kind of, there's not much there in terms of the storyline. I knew this is how it's going to be. All his miniseries of this Shaolin Cowboy have been like that. It's him fighting for fucking like 6 or 7 issues in the desert, accompanied with great art, but it's fun. I mean, like, that's what it is, right? So next up, we got Silver Coin number 12. I mean, I love this series, guys. I think this is another strong issue. This one's written by Stephanie Phillips. Art always by Michael Walsh, the creator of the Silver Coin, and is the artist. This issue is basically about guys, I guess like World War II. Yeah, 45. Yeah, so this is taking place with you're seeing them in like the heat of the battle. They're fighting the Germans essentially. And I mean, I like army comics. Like, I think there's a lack thereof army comics out there. Like, I really like a lot of the war comics or army stuff. Garth Ennis is one of the only people that still does shit like that, I feel like. They used to do it a lot more back in the day. So like, I was like, oh, World War II comic with the supernatural kind of twist in it, one and done. I'm like done. I was like, I as soon as I open the book, because every writer brings like a different storyline to the Silver Coin, right? And it's just that through line of the Silver Coin, basically, haunting these people and basically bringing bad luck to them. So he comes across one of the coins from a dead, I guess, German in this after his squad takes him down. And then the one guy hasn't got a kill under his belt yet. The guy that's part of it that we're following that picked up the coin. So they're all talking to him about it, how your first time will be when you got to pull the trigger and this and that. Don't worry, it'll happen. And just, be careful out there. And he starts walking through the woods at one point of it, and he sees like undead Germans, like basically like their bodies that were left there get up and start attacking him like zombies, essentially. And, he starts running into the forest and trying to like, shoot back at them. And again, he's not, he's not a marksman. He's, very, he hasn't killed anybody yet. So he's a little green and he's scared. He's not a soldier that's like, confident in himself in that sense. Anyways, he just starts letting off and fucking destroying the shit out of all these zombies at one point because he like loses it out in the woods. Of course, like you could probably see this one coming. It turns out the people weren't zombies; they were all in his head, and they were his actual squad that he ended up killing. Yeah, so it's a pretty tragic ending. He comes up and when he finally realizes what he did, and his dead buddy is sitting there that was part of the squad that basically was like, well, now you know how it feels like to kill somebody, basically. And I was just like, that was great. Like, great art. Michael Walsh did a great job in this story. World War II, I love it. Stories like this. And at the end of it, the Germans basically found him frozen in the woods here, like something like out of The Shining, where like they find him all frozen there the next morning. Essentially, they find his frozen body here, and I was like, yeah, great one and done stories in this Silver Coin. I got to tell you, man, I'm really enjoying this series, and like, they're not all bangers like this one or the last one was, which was my favorite of the week. But when they do it right, I love one and done stories. They're really great like this. So, and this is a backup story written and drawn by Adam Gorham called Dark Passage or Dark Passenger. That's also pretty decent. There's some art from it. So it's like a 4-page, I think, backup that's been the last 2 issues. So yeah, I give this a 4.5 as well. Really great.
That sounds like a great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, between this one and the diner one, that was the last time I talked about it. I think it may have been my favorite of the week that week. The last couple of issues have been really, really solid for this series because it seemed like because we're in the third stretch. This is 11 and 12, the last 2 issues. So the first 5, the first arc of issues, it seemed like the first 10 for that matter, every other issue was good, but these last couple ones have been very, very good. I hope they stays this consistency throughout the next 5 of them. So very good.
Well, like you say, from those World War II type of stories, it's always a bunch of kids there that don't want to be there. Everybody's conscripted into the war. You're 18, 19 years old. That's a rife time. Like you say, you're out in the freaking field somewhere. You're scared shitless. You're going to shoot at anything that moves.
Yeah.
And like you say, it turns out to be your own troop. Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Makes sense, right? I mean, that's why it's a good opportunity to write something like that. So yeah, I think it was very well done.
It's just right for crazy stories like that.
Yeah. So next up we got Nightwing number 94.
Nightwing 94.
As well?
Yeah, I got a little variant cover for that.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah. Wing and Babs there enjoying a moment.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, here, I'll let you. This is your favorite, one of your favorite titles. I'll let you ride this one out here, and I'll tell you what I think afterwards.
This was not a great issue.
Okay, great. It's not just me then. Go ahead.
I like it. You still gave me the opportunity to maybe, throw some praise on this book because I normally tend to do that over you, I think I would say. But no, this wasn't the strongest issue. Again, it doesn't help that the great artist Bruno Redondo, who's usually on this series, was not on this issue. So first off, issue without him, you're already doing me dirty a little bit right there. Okay. So because the book is never as good, I find, without him on the book. I think this is one of those titles where the artist is just as good as Tom Taylor, I think, writes the best issues for him when he's on the book, it seems like. So right there, you kind of lost me a little bit right from the get-go. I'll say that. The art is fine though. The art was fine, but it wasn't the usual artist I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was a pretty straightforward story about him basically taking out the commissioner who's been dirty this whole time in the city. You get this whole sequence of him taking him out, and then you see the woman who's been working with him on the inside, that's been working with Blockbuster, the guy who's the villain of this city, as well at Bloodhaven, as well as that's been working with the basically commissioner and Nightwing, and he's basically on the inside. She's working both sides of the fence essentially. By the end of this issue, she gets I don't know, revealed to be working with Nightwing. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand is why she would give herself up for, I don't know who that guy is, but I imagine he's a villain, a bad person.
Yeah. And
then she's going to give herself up as the mole because she doesn't want to see the bad guy die. I imagine if you're in there this, you're a bad guy. That's the bed you made. I understand that you're not the mole, but you're going to get treated as the mole and you're going to die because of it. protect me.
Yeah.
If I was the mole, I'd be quiet right there and watch that person die. But I guess
Not
maybe that makes me a bad person.
Yeah, not only that, it's just like this guy's getting the shit beaten out of him because, like, yeah, he fucked up. This is like one of his goons.
Yeah, but he didn't really fuck up. He was just asking questions all the time, and
they,
I guess Blockbuster thought he was the mole.
that's right. That's right. That's why, because he thought he was the mole. He was getting beat up, right? But the thing that pissed me off is just like how close she got to him while on the fucking phone with Nightwing. Like Blockbuster's literally outside the door. Like he walks off. And then she's
all she had to do was watch this villain die who did bad things,
but he
you know, which he's trying to do anyways.
But even if she felt otherwise, why would she fucking pick up the phone and make the call while he's right there in front of her? Like she, I guess, assumed he was dead or unconscious.
Well, he was about to die. Oh, I can't let this innocent person die. But that person wasn't innocent.
Right. It's just like she baited herself out so hard in this. I just didn't find it believable. Yeah, I that's where it kind of really fell apart for me as well. I'm just like, that's kind of stupid. So like, if it was like, you know, as straightforward as the rest of the issue of him taking down the commissioner and all that, you know, I would have been like, okay, yeah, it was fine. I would have given a 3.5, but given that, I'm going to give this I mean, and the artist is different. I'm going to give it 3.25 this one, 3.2.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't see this coming, but I'll give the Nightwing a higher rating than you.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3.5.
There you go.
I didn't like the swerve. Unbelievable as it is, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was a little disappointed with that one in that sense, but what can you do? Can't all be winners.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got World War M Maestro number 5, which concludes this miniseries, I believe, right? Yeah, finale. It says right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Maestro there, and I got the same cover. I was enjoying this story here, but unfortunately, I think they're just trying to set up for the next miniseries with Maestro. You know, a lot of stuff happens here, but it just didn't seem all that impactful, let's say. You know, a lot of big things happen. I think freaking Dr. Doom might be dead here. And this, Emil Blonsky, he goes in there. I think he might have sacrificed himself. So all these kind of big stories that should be very meaningful, once again, just fell flat to me. I think even Namor might have died in here. Like, you know, they had a lot of big things happening. I guess the best page is near the end. Yeah, I still have Rick Jones out there trying to, you know, everybody's got to stop Maestro. And one good storyline in here is with Maestro saying, you know, hey, when you're the villain and you take over the world, all of a sudden you have to protect all these people you took over. And that's what he's trying to do. Whether that's good or bad, it's hard to say.
How about this Doom fucking armor here? What the hell's that all about? Look how chonky he looks in that thing. Is that like looks like a Hulk?
Yeah, they're all Doom bots or something, because I think he.
Oh, okay.
At one point, you know, they have whatever, Maestro and the Abomination. They're trapped in some sort of adamantium cell that they can't get out of. But of course, you know, he just turns into Bruce Banner and he can slip between the bars because they weren't assuming that he could do that.
Right.
And then for some reason, once he's outside of the bars, he can tear apart the cell. When it was inside the bar, he couldn't. So I thought that was kind of a strange part of the story. But otherwise, I think the Abomination as a spy, he goes in, he infiltrates Doom's computers, and then he gets onto he's able to control, I guess, the Human Torch, but not the one from the original Human Torch. And he seems to enjoy the pleasure of setting to go supernova, and he goes supernova in there, and boom, everybody dies, except Maestro. Maestro escapes.
Things that
spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, the thing that I noticed about this end page here, because I was looking over the images, is the fact that it kind of said, well, you already know where this goes, because this basically leads right into the original Future Imperfect miniseries that Peter David did back in the 90s. So like I think he's now done with.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know if this was like a story moving into a story that's already been written, or if he's going to be writing a story. Maybe I'm just missing things.
No, I think what this leads into, because they basically the setup for how he got to the future imperfect moment with girl back in the 90s is a story that he did with George Perez. Actually, he drew it. So like this, I think he's done with these miniseries now. I think that will lead into basically the original series is what they're saying. This basically leads, this is his origin, which they never really got into in that series. It was kind of like a future time jump, the original Future Imperfect series. Which I've read. But basically, the thing that I found very interesting about this, Chris, is the next thing he's got planned is with Mr. Fix-It, another Hulk fight favorite from the
Peter. I don't know. I'm falling off these ones there with that Fantastic Four, which doesn't seem to be freaking rattling pages. Then there's that whatever, the Lethal Protector, which doesn't seem to be doing too much. I'd rather see new stories with new times rather than old stories with old characters, kind of revisiting them. But you can't really mess around with their stories too much because, the stories have already been told.
Revisiting them with the original creators that were involved. Yeah, you're right. There is definitely a lot of those type of...
A lot of handcuffs put on them, let's say.
Yeah. So what'd you give this? Because it seems like you started out loving this series a lot more than you did when it ended, right?
I did love it.
Yeah.
Hate to throw it out there. 3.5.
There you have it.
That's good, but it wasn't great.
All right, and next up you got Spider-Gwenverse number 4.
This is the reason I bought this whole freaking series, just for this one cover. There's a whole bunch of these Lang covers that are all been sort of similar, but of course you want to see Gwen Stacy with the Spider-Man costume. I thought that was freaking super awesome. And the story here is starting to get a bit crazy in there, but it was also a crazy story. It was nothing super serious. You got a Captain Marvel Gwen. And I guess this is the last one before the final. I think number 5 is the final issue. And I guess you're trying to restore, I guess, all the universes that all these Gwens come from. That's all I gotta say. Meh. It's nice. They're fun stories. It's kind of getting old seeing all the, have all the Gwens fighting each other, but basically the same person. You have the Thor Gwen, the Iron Man Gwen, and the Wolverine Gwen. It's fun stuff, but it's nothing to write home about. Let's say. I do like the covers. I love all the covers that they've been coming from. I buy them just for the covers, and the story's enough to make me feel I don't waste my money. So, it's the story of the day. 3.5.
Oh, man. All right. Next up, we got Farmhand number 19. Not too much to mention in this one. We're kind of getting to the conclusion of this storyline. I think he said it's like 25, 26 issues, something like that. So only a little bit more ways to go. In this issue, basically our main character, goes back to this church friend that was, I guess the priest was a friend of this guy's father. He talks about some tale about how all these plant creatures that are connected, he thinks are part of this like big evil tree, which is like, I guess, the source of evil of basically what's been going on in this town. But, the other dude doesn't believe it. And then they encounter a bunch of people that are like, part of these like infected plant folk and get into a scuffle with them. And by the end of it, it's possibly some people have been taken out. Some people were injured, and basically they were trying to dig up our main character's mother, and the bad person that's involved in this, because his father is basically the person that created all this these plant things to begin with. The main character's father. The villain of the story is this woman who's basically controlling all these plant people now that knows his father. And so the fact that they dug up his dead wife, the main character's mother, at least her coffin, is obviously they were up to something. Maybe they're going to take over the body or do something with the body. And the reveal is that at the end here, the casket was empty. So he's not really sure where his dead mother, his body is gone. And, does not look good for the group right now. So yeah, interesting story, good cartooning. I do like the series, but I give it a 3.5, like Chris. And then next up, I got Skybound X number 25. This is a image book that's doing something cool. Like last year, they did Skybound 1 to X number 1 to 5 came out, and there was all kind of short stories. Skybound is Robert Kirkman's imprint at Image Comics, so these are all like other artists and creators that he basically greenlights to have series under his imprint at Image. So he kind of helps with the decision making in terms of what titles that they put out. And the big reason I got this issue is the last 5 issues that came out last year, 1 to 5, were like short stories by different creators. And he came back with like a futuristic Walking Dead story with artist Ryan Otley from Invincible, that's been working over at Marvel on the Hulk with Donny Cates as of lately. But this is again now Skybound X 25. They kind of wanted to make it issue 25 as a remembrance to back in the day when Image Comics did future issues of all of their series that never actually made it 25 issues. They came out with a 20-minute issue for like things like Youngblood and shit like this, and they as a look at what could happen in the future of these stories. So he kind of, as a nod to that kind of era of Image Comics, he made this Skybound 25. But in this one, instead of doing a bunch of short stories, they're short stories, but it's a premiere of a series that's going to be coming out throughout the next year of Skybound. Like, so basically these are all like series that are going to be coming out soon. They basically just giving you little sneak peeks of them. So the one I mostly got this issue for was, again, Robert Kirkman returning to the world of Invincible, a series I very much love of his that he already, finished a few years ago. Again, Ryan Otley coming back to the book and doing the art. And the short story is based on Battle Beast that's in here. So they're either going to do a Battle Beast miniseries, which was a great villain from the Invincible book. He's basically just like a big fucking, like, I don't know, like juiced out, like Thundercat looking guy or something, I guess. But I don't know. It's he was in, but way more super violent, as you can see. I love Ryan Otley on Invincible. I love Invincible, so I liked this story essentially. So the other one was a setup for like some sort of story about a amusement park, and this is by Joshua Williamson, which I forgot the artist's name, but they worked on a book called Birthright through Image years ago that I really, really enjoyed. I think they're a good team. I might check out this book. I don't know how they're going to write a story about an amusement park and what goes on there. But in this story, it's about this dude taking his kids to the amusement park, getting pissed off at somebody who tried to cut in front of a line of them, and he basically beat the shit out of them. So that was interesting little story. So I think this artist, though, because the other story that they did had a kid in it as well, draws children really good, because it's hard for artists to actually draw like realistic looking children.
Yeah.
So if you look at this page here, he does a really good job. And just like the mannerisms and like the expressions on the characters' faces, this artist is really good at doing that kind of stuff. So I did want to kind of point that out, because I think he does a really good job of that kind of stuff, this artist. So yeah, as he beats the shit out of them. And then the other 2 stories I wasn't as interested in. One of them is like this fantasy story here. As you can see, an artist is going to be writing and drawing it that worked with Kirkman on another book that he did called Oblivion Song. I'm not so interested in this one, at least from this preview. And this one's called Scurry, which is basically about a story about a bunch of mice basically trying to make their way through like a post-apocalyptic world where humans are no longer around. So there's all these animals and shit trying to survive out in this world or whatever. You can see they're trying to go for like a more serious tone, but a more like cartoony, like Disney-esque type, I guess, vibe with the art or something like that, right? So I don't know. It's not for me, but I'll give this issue a 3.5, just because of the nature of the beast of it being like an anthology issue of sorts. But the strong entries, I would give a 4 or 2 in this. But overall, I'll give it a 3.5. So not bad. And then lastly, for me, Rogues number 3. This came out, I think, last week. But again, I didn't get this in time to read it. I didn't even realize it. I didn't have it on my list. But I did want to quickly mention this because I love this series. I talked about it previously. I think it's really good. Right now, they're with Gorilla God. They were trying to steal the gold from Gorilla City, from Gorilla Grodd, the Rogues, Captain Cold, and the rest of the Rogues that he brought along with them. In this issue, they strike up a deal with one of the other apes that lives there to basically help them by stealing the gold from the bank. But it all kind of goes tits up by the end of the issue, and unfortunately for them. So as opposed to other heist, maybe movies or things like that you saw where everything goes smoothly, it does anything but. It's just a great series. Joshua Williamson's been doing some pretty good work lately outside of DC Comics as well with his creator-owned stuff, as well as this DC Black Label stuff. I think that the stuff I usually like from him the least, although I guess I can't really say that because I've been digging Dark Crisis lately, is his core superhero stuff. But I think he's been doing a good job on things lately. So there you go. Joshua Williamson, shout out to him. So I can't wait to see the conclusion. The next issue, I give this issue, I mean, I'm not going to put it in the running for this week because it was from last week, but if I had to, I would give this also, I'll give this a 4.25. Really good.
Right.
Yeah, man. All right. So that's this one. Yeah. And this is the conclusion is basically they stole Gorilla Grodd's son and they're using it to make their way out of Gorilla City. Yeah, because they got caught at the end. So if not, they're going to kill his son, this little ape. All right. So that's that one. And next up, another book that came out last week that we didn't get to talk about. Me and Chris both read this. Dark Crisis Worlds Without Justice League Superman #1. What'd you think of this one, Chris?
I thought the Superman story at least was pretty decent.
Yeah.
It was unexpectedly better than I thought. And I know how to put this. I know because I remember reading through the Dark Crisis that they're all kind of stuck in these almost dream worlds where you can kind of see what happened, didn't happen, almost like what if sort of situations. Because from what I understand is that what's his kid's name? Jonathan. Yeah, like he missed his teenage years because he got aged up.
Yep.
In the regular story.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. It was fun to read. I like that little super motorcycle that he had. They could fly around there. And I like him seem kind of going out there just trying to do the right thing, where Superman's saying, hey, you can't go out there. We've got to protect Earth. And I guess it ends up with him saying, hey, I'll go protect the universe. You protect Earth and we'll see how it goes. Wasn't bad.
I love
that Aquaman story was kind of brutal.
Aquaman story was shit. Yeah, I love the main Superman story written by Tom King though. It was great. I think there was a lot of great touching moments between my father and son in this. I think he captured that really well. I know he has kids. I think he really maybe channeled some of that shit here, seeing your kids grow up. I really liked these moments, like how he thinks he has to. Even in these moments, he kind of captured the whole thing about Jonathan trying to be different or do differently than Superman. And yeah, it was good. I really liked it. I thought, like you said, it was unexpectedly good. Like I picked this up based on Tom King, but I think he didn't phone this one in. I mean, he kind of is not really in Dark Crisis in the main event at all, but great short story with Superman, I thought. So yeah, very good.
Well, it's almost too bad this wasn't his, this was his life story, let's say.
Yes.
Because, some of those stories seem to be good there, but it makes me like Jonathan Kent more, I guess, but I don't think I'll be buying that Son of Superman or wherever he is now.
Right. Yeah, the Aquaman one wasn't as good though. Basically, the Aquaman thing in his basically he's finally happy in his version, right? I mean, they're all supposed to be finally happy in their version whatever they're trapped in, but like his was like, everyone's getting along and they're getting married and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, this is, cheap.
Yeah, it was just kind of silly. Like I don't even know. It shouldn't have even been involved in this story. You could have just
I agree.
Left in there, take the dollar off the price, and let's just have a good Superman story.
I agree. So what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.75. I did like it more than I thought I would.
Same. And I
went out of my way to read it, but I wasn't planning on reading it at all. And then I heard good things about it, and it lived up to the story.
I'm also going to give it a 3.75, but I would have given it a 4 or possibly more if it wasn't for that fucking Aquaman story. I agree.
Yeah, I think maybe if they stretch this out, put a good few more pages in there.
Yeah.
Kind of pumped up that story a bit. I think it would have been better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then finally we got Batman Superman World's Finest #5. This this week here. Chris, what did you think of this one? The end of
Once
the arc.
again, this was surprisingly better than I thought. I think the writing in here is great. They kind of put a lot of twists and turns. And, with this devil, Nisa, I thought, you kind of have I guess the troop was there. Someone's got to lock him in his cage. And they pull out the Phantom Zone, and I did like where the Doom Patrol guy punches him in the face out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize, or I guess
right there.
He wasn't aware of robot technology or something because he's from the past. But then he adapts pretty quickly. But then Superman sees that he's only aware of Earth technology, so he runs back to get his whatever, the Phantom Zone gun.
Yeah.
And then even he breaks out of the Phantom Zone. So I thought there's a lot of good things going on here. And then I guess I don't know if you want to spoil the ending here, how he gets locked in and how whoever gets out. I thought it was some good writing and some great art. It's still, a fun, bright. I thought it was a great comic.
Yeah, Robin. They lost Robin, but that's through the time stream. Yeah.
Well, but even how Superman gets out of or whoever.
Yeah, he ends up escaping, but I'll leave the way that he did that to you guys to check out. But I guess
that was an interesting, way to use whatever tools they have.
I thought it was great fun. Honestly, one of the best purely superhero throwback type comics coming out right now. If they're trying to capture the world's finest team up aspect and of these people being in the DC universe, I mean, it's clearly not in continuity, but it doesn't fucking matter. They don't reference it. They just tell good stories with great art. It's great. I love this series. I think it's excellent. I think it's
supposedly it might be part of some continuity because that Devil Nez is supposed to show up in other things.
Yeah. And then I think was it in this issue that they set up the Batman versus Robin miniseries that's going to be coming soon. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still not on board for that yet, but
yeah, I don't know why that's happening exactly or why it's connected to this if it is, but this has been great. I think this was a great end to this first arc. A lot happens in these issues. They're really
cylinders. For whatever reason, like you say, since it's not in continuity, but it still seems to matter. Where I haven't read any of the other stuff from, like you say, we're talking about earlier about those Marvel ones where they have the original creators going back to their original characters. It just doesn't seem to matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The Patch and maybe just we had a bad experience with Patch, but I haven't heard any great things from Lethal Protectors. Haven't heard any great things from that new Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But I am liking this one here for sure.
What'd you give this one then, Chris?
Well, I guess I got to give it a bit more. I give it 3.75. I did like it.
I liked it a bit more than you, I think, this week. I gave it a 4.25. I'd say this one. Yeah, very good. I was gonna give it a 4, but no, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was an exceptional issue for this first arc. So very good. All right, so that's gonna do it for the books that we wanted to talk about this week. I did just want to add this one thing here, though. The new segment, I guess, of sorts, or whenever we want to, this comes across recent reads. I caught up on X-Men Red, Chris. So I'd heard you saying how good it was in the recent events that maybe
not too bad, isn't it?
It's pretty good. So I'm actually going to pick up the physical copies of these issues moving forward. So that means, guys, I'm going to be following X-Men Red, Immortal X-Men, and X-Men. Those are the X-Men books I'm going to be picking up. And honestly, from what I've been hearing, they're the best ones out and the ones that really matter, let's say. So I got to say, though, this X-Men Red, very good. I did really enjoy it. I think that I wasn't sold on a lot of the characters in this book, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of most of these people or know them all that well, but the
ones that are there, you want to having Magneto in there, I love Magneto. Storm in there.
Yeah, the way the last issue ended too, with him fighting that fucking guy, and the whole Araco culture in that sense.
Yeah.
Vulcan being a fucking asshole like he is, you know what I mean? I liked those moments. So yeah, I like it. First two issues, I would say the 3 and 4, the last two have been the best of the series so far. The first one, I was kind of not sold completely, but the first two, but then once you got the last 3 and 4, the most recent issue that came out, great. So yeah, I'm on board. So
That's what I'm saying about this Judgment Day too. It's nice seeing, like, like Nightcrawler being part of the action, like the important action, let's say, because before this he was stuck in what, Legion of X or something, just in some side story. I want to see all the important X-Men get back involved in an important story.
right. Yeah, no, and that's why I kind of want to make sure to continue to reading this event, because I think it's going to have big implications on like what's going on in terms of the status quo in these books right now, right? Like I
Yeah.
really, so I think it should be interesting. Okay, so before we let you guys know we're picking up next week, we're gonna go quickly over the new Marvel previews that just dropped. It just dropped, I think, today before
Wait, for
recording.
October already?
Yeah, October. So the
Wow.
rest of this
Okay.
list aren't out as of yet. So we'll just look at the Marvel today because we've run along anyway. So we'll just look at that, and then maybe next week we'll have DC ready for you guys by that point. So let's take a look here. Let me just bring it up. Just give me a second. All right.
Yeah, fuck Judgment Day, of course. Well,
So
that
here,
Miracle Man. Are you reading that Miracle Man?
yes, I'll be checking this out. I think I'm interested enough. Now, this one I think is going to be. This is a one shot that's focusing on, I guess, a bunch of short stories by creators now that they're allowed to print the Miracle Man book again. They've had the rights for a couple of years now. That's a crazy story. If you guys are ever interested in that, between Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane over the rights of Miracle Man. If you ever want to hear the story about that, just go search on YouTube, guys. I'm not gonna get into it here, but it's very interesting. The rights to this character that have bounced around over the years. So yeah, definitely check that out. Well, no, that was Angela from Spawn with Neil Gaiman and him. But then I think Todd McFarlane had the rights to Miracle Man at one point because he bought it out, I think, from Eclipse or something, which was the Marvel imprint, if I'm not mistaken. And then Neil Gaiman was writing it, and he was supposed to finish the series, but then he didn't. There's a whole thing there. So I might be wrong on all the details about that. But if you look up the history of the rights to Miracle Man, it's very interesting if you look it up online. I remember watching a video on it. It's actually kind of interesting how that all worked out. And that's why it was originally like the whole Marvel Man Shazam type thing is interesting in that sense. All this stupidness from back in the day that they kind of, were involved in. So, but they couldn't print Miracle Man for quite a while as a result of whatever happened with all this. So yeah, Miracle Man, and this is the new one here. I think Miracle Man by Gaiman and Buckingham, the Silver Age #1. This is, I think, Neil Gaiman returning to Miracle Man and actually finishing out his story that he abandoned from the 90s.
I hear a lot about him. I'll give this a go, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna check this out. So yeah, it's Miracle Man #1.
We better have a fucking hot artist on this, though.
Mark Buckingham, he's good. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be good. Let's take a look at some of the covers here quickly. Yeah, see, it's kind of like the Marvel, it's kind of like the Shazam.
Trouble aren't selling it for me.
That's a nice one. Yeah, there's your Peach Momoko. All right, so next up we got Spider-Man #1, the new Dan Slott series. Oh, look at that cover. Is that on our Adams Gwen? Hold up, let's take a look here. Yeah, that it is. Nice cover.
Guess I'm buying 2 of these issues here then.
Yeah, nice cover. Yeah, so this is Spider-Man, the new Dan Slott, Mark Bagley series that we talked about. That one's kind of funky looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the variant cover by Arthur Adams. So yeah, that is not a special variant, guys. That Art Adams. Definitely pick that one up.
I'll get cover A and cover B, it looks like.
That's the one I'll be picking up. Nice one. Although, I gotta say, he definitely went with a very stacked version of
Yeah. He wasn't a teenager then, I don't think.
No, I will say that. I mean, then you got the end of Axe Judgment Day, 6 of 6. So I think I'm in for the ride. So that's, whoa, look at this cover.
Adler?
Yes.
Okay, I'm down.
What is she doing in Judgment Day?
Who knows?
Is that Art Germ? Is that an Art Germ cover? Mark Brooks, it looks like, actually.
Well, I hope that's cover A because I'm buying it.
Maybe this is Mark Brooks. No, there's an Art Germ variant cover. Yes, that is Art Germ. I think the Dazzler one, and that's just a regular variant. Yeah, there you go.
All right, well, I'm getting that one for sure.
Yeah, nice covers.
Do the rest.
All right. Each. X-Men #1, maybe. I might read this online.
Yeah. I don't want to get freaking sucked into all these pullover or all these crossovers.
I agree. Oh,
That might not have anything to do with anything.
No. I am picking this up. Sorry. So they're bringing out one issue of each of them by Karen Gillan, the writer of the event. I already pre-ordered the Avengers one, and then there's going to be an Eternals one, and there's going to be an X-Men. These are apparently essential reading. They said they might be a cash grab, but they haven't said that about any of the other tie-ins. So I am going to be picking this one.
Well, that is a nice cover. I'll probably buy that one for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that one's not too bad either.
And there's the Axe Eternals. Yeah. So this is the other. Yeah. This.
If I'm going to miss one, it's probably going to be the Eternals one.
There you go. Yeah. So.
Better put a fucking super story in there.
Axe Iron Fist. Nope. Any interest in that?
Nope.
Yeah. That's a cool cover though. This one. All right. Axe Star Fox. The fuck? And
Come on.
Getting that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. What are you we're talking about? Like 5 issues here already of friggin' baloney characters I don't care about.
Yeah. Axe Star Fox. Okay.
Yeah, I'll read that one online.
Eros, you know, Thanos' brother. So I guess that's going to probably tie into the Eternal shit that he's been running lately.
I think Star Fox is going to take the Uranus up.
Uranus. Captain Marvel 42.
Oh, yeah, I'm down for that.
And then another tie-in issue, which I probably won't be reading for Fantastic Four. I won't be buying it anyways. That's Fantastic Four Judgment Day tie-in, written not by Dan Slott. He's leaving the series at this point.
Yeah.
Nice covers, though.
Maybe.
Yeah. Immortal X-Men number 7. I'll be sticking with this.
Yep.
As I mentioned, it's one of the 3 ongoing X-Men books I'll continue to read.
Not a big cover on that. Nothing crazy going on. Yeah, Legion of X pass.
Legion of X, X-Men Red, which I'm now reading. Yep. Take a look at that. That's okay.
Yep. Not giving anything away there.
Yeah, Axe Death to the Mutants. Not reading this.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass though. Could be good, but who knows?
You know, I think any other additional books I might just read digitally outside of the main event, honestly, other than those one-shots I told you about, because, you know, it really depends how much I'm digging this event, right?
Yeah.
I really don't want to buy into a lot of the tie-ins, like you said, either. X-Force, no. You reading that at all? No?
No.
Moon Knight Annual, no. I read the trade, though. They're reprinting Tomb of Dracula number 1.
Ooh, no.
Oh, I'm in for this. Crypt of Shadows. This is from a book from back in the day by Marvel. It's like a horror anthology, like with a lot of the more of the supernatural characters in the Marvel universe, which I'm a fan of. I mean, look at the cover here. You got Elsa Bloodstone, you got Man Thing, you got Moon Knight, you got Wolverine there for some reason. Werewolf by Night, I believe, is on there. Yeah, I'm picking this up.
We'll see.
It's a one-shot, this one, so it's not an ongoing series. So yeah, I'm definitely. It looks like some good creators on here. Moon Knight, I read trade. I'm going to be continuing with Midnight Suns. I already pre-ordered the first issue of this. Doom and Wolverine. Again, this is more. Well, that's a nice cover. Blade there and Magic. Nice. Yeah, this is again more of the supernatural side of Marvel, which I'm a fan of. So maybe, Chris. How about this one? Wakanda. Any interest in this?
Yeah, sorry.
No. Namor, Conquered Shores, number 1. Ooh, I like Christopher Cantwell. I don't mind Namor. Might read this digitally, maybe.
He's a character everybody freaking sleeps on.
I
think I'm gonna sleep on him too, though.
Yeah, I do like him as a character, and I do like the writer on this. I'm gonna be game time decision on this. I think I'll read this digitally. I'll check out the first at least, at the very least. Ultraman, nope. Wild Cards, nope. Amazing Spider-Man 11, yeah, we're reading that. And 12, it looks like is listed here.
Oh, we got the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, that's always fun. I'm not into these Miracle Man covers. I don't really care about him that much. Yeah, this is number 12. Yeah, Hobgoblin's back. Awesome. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Nice.
Oh, where's he gonna fit in with Saving Mary Jane with what's his name? I guess that's gonna be like a 1-issue thing then.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was number 9. Yeah, and this is 11.
Yeah, it's like 11, 12. So I guess that story's over already.
I guess. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, written by Taboo. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, so Thunderbolts, no. All Out Avengers, no.
So
Exterminators. Have you decided on this one yet?
maybe. I think I ordered number 1.
Nice covers.
What are you gonna do? You gotta follow the X girls.
Marauders 7, no. Gambit, no.
No.
X-Men Legends, no. X-Men 16.
Yes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's big.
I don't know what that's about, but I think it looks freaking sick.
How about New Mutants? You sticking with this? Oh, nice.
I'm gonna see where these stories go because I think that the Magic story might be over by then.
I love these Art Adam covers. And actually, I think it is because yet again, another new writer is listed on this series here. Charlie Jane Anders, whoever that is. So, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Escapade joins the New Mutants. Breaking out of this year's Marvel Voices. Yeah.
Great. I mean, great.
Shout out to them, though. People involved.
Love those voices.
Wolverine 26. Don't want to come off like a bunch of comic skaters here. We love diversity.
My favorite.
Wolverine 26.
I still haven't, unless this thing starts making some noise. I'm sure they got great covers. Friggin'
yeah.
I got burned by friggin' what's that? Wolverine 10 or whatever it was.
Yeah, the surfing one. Yeah. Captain America Sentinel of Liberty 5. I might check this out in trade, but I did really like the first issue. I'm not reading this in issues, but I did really like the first issue. Then you got Captain America Symbol of Truth, number 6, Sam Wilson, Avengers 61.
Yeah, down for that. What's the cover look like here? What's going on? I can't even notice all. That's okay. I'd rather be surprised.
Yeah. Avengers Forever, number 10. Yep. You grabbing this?
Oh, yeah.
2 more issues to go. I think that was a 12-issue series.
Oh, nice. I thought it was an ongoing.
No,
of course, yeah.
Definitely grabbing that. Ooh, nice cover. Looks like some interesting shit going on there. Punisher War Journal Brother number 1. Yes, this is another one of the one-shots. I enjoyed the first one, so I'll definitely be checking out this one. Like that. That was good. Strange 7. Yes.
Yes.
Nice cover. That's cool. I like that one.
Well, I did see Multiverse of Madness there.
Yeah, what'd you think? It was all right.
It was okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. Shang-Chi, 10 Rings. You reading this? No? Iron Cat number 5.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Really, really enjoyed the first issue. Black Panther number 10. We don't read that currently. She-Hulk. Nice, another new nice cover. That kind of looks like this.
Same cover. That looks like another Jen Bartel. I can't say for sure, but
yeah,
those covers are sweet.
Jen Bartel. Yep, you're right. Ghost Rider number 7. Nope.
I'm sure he's. I think one of the issues he's hooking up with Wolverine in there, but that might just be a cash grab.
You mean Laura Wolverine or
no? Wolverine. Logan Wolverine.
He's hooking up with him. What do you mean he's hooking
up? No, not hooking up, but they're going to be in there together fighting.
I was like, what?
Easy now. It's not a voices issue.
Oh my god. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I
never said there was.
Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor number 5. Are you sticking?
I'm following that still, but I'm not so jazzed on it as I was when it first came out.
Right. Yeah, the second issue kind of, you said, like, plummeted.
Yeah.
Janice Vell, no.
Screw him.
Benders Beyond, no. Iron Man 24.
Yeah, I'm still down for Iron Man.
That's who's writing the Namor series, is this guy. So I don't know. I might check it out.
I don't know. I'm only buying Iron Man because he got the Alex Ross covers.
Yeah, you're sticking with this. Your Phil Noto boy is drawing this. Yeah,
I know. I couldn't find number 1. I thought it might number 2. I haven't like put it out there. I might just read this online and enjoy the pleasure virtually.
I might do that as well. I enjoyed the first issue enough. Damage Control number 3, no. Savage Avengers 6. I'm dropping this. You said you might stick with it.
I'm going to stick with it.
Hey, there's your favorite.
Crazy.
There's your favorite character, Anti-Venom on the cover.
Yeah.
Carnage 7. Whoa.
7? I thought it was only going to 6.
Is it an ongoing now? Maybe it was so popular it's ongoing. I don't know.
I don't know. Some good stuff there. That Carnage wasn't too bad.
Venom 12. You're sticking with this, right?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Venom.
Whoa, what's going on here?
Who fucking knows, man? They're just selling covers and
make it out.
Crazy ideas with freaking no stories.
Venom's a bunch of Venoms banging each other there. Mech Strike,
Yeah.
no. Ant-Man, no. New Fantastic Four, no. Hulk, please come back. Where is this book been, man? It's delays are killing this
Well,
book.
what's that, like number 7 or something?
9
And like
now.
6 was 2 months ago.
Yeah, this is 9 now. I
Yeah,
think.
they've been teasing that one for like 2 months now already.
Yeah, because
I think that's like Planet Hulk or something.
yeah, look, Thor 28 with Venom. Yeah, because I think that August and September, everything's coming out across those 2 months instead of 1 month. Yeah, or it's considered 1 month, those two essentially.
Well, I don't really mind these delays, like as long as everybody's getting time to put stuff out.
Yeah, it's fine. Alien, no. Predator. I pre-ordered the first 2 issues, so I guess yes for now. We'll see how this is, though. I might be dropping off this one quick, depending.
I had a lot of Predator comics from wherever they were before, Dark Horse.
Yeah. Star Wars, no. High Republic 1, no. I don't know if you've read this yet, but I heard this is horrible. The Mandalorian. I heard it's bad.
I bought number 1, but I didn't read it.
Keep it just.
I heard it's like note for note from the story or from the TV series.
Yes.
But the TV series has music, has freaking cinematography. Well, this has nothing.
That's a cool cover, though. Yes. So not
I might buy Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Not only is it beat for beat from the show, but not to hold that against it. If it is an adaptation of the show, apparently the art was also really bad in it. That's what I heard. So I don't know. I heard it was a bad first issue.
I fell for the hype. It was there. I bought it.
Darth Vader, Dr. Aphra, and I think is that it here. Yeah, that's it. That does it for the Marvel October solicits, guys, and what we're looking forward to picking up. And speaking of what we're looking forward to picking up, what are you picking up next week, Chris?
Ooh, next week I got Iron Cat 2, Strange 4, I think Spider-Man 6, Venom 9, Action Comics 1045, Deathstroke 11, Detective Comics 1062. I think that's the new Ram V.
Yes.
I might have it already. I can't say. But and I was thinking variants too, but I don't think I put that on any order. I'd have to go check. Like I'd have to chase it down. And if I'm out, I'm out. If I'm not, I'm not.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Size week. Okay. Next week I got Batman One Dark Knight #3, the final issue. Detective Comics 1062, like you as well. The Ram V. Harley Quinn 17. Superman Space Age #1. Really looking forward to that. That's a new DC Black Label book with Superman. Amazing Spider-Man #6, oversized issue. Big things hopefully happening in that one. I'm really looking forward to that. Deadly
I
Class.
think it's gonna be all hype.
Yeah, well, maybe. Deadly Class 54. Maybe penultimate issue is coming. It's 55 or 56 issues of the series. So I'm really, again, looking forward to that one. It's ending soon. Public Domain #2. Righteous Thirst. Yeah, next week. Righteous Thirst #10. And Strange #4.
Nice.
And, yeah, that's it for next week. Not too crazy of a week compared to this one. And yeah, finally, what was our favorite book of the week? Chris, amongst all these 3.5s, what was your favorite 3.5 that you gave out this week?
I'm looking around here. I think I'm going to give it to this. No, that's a nice cover. I'm going to give it to freaking Catwoman, just because I like the tie-ins to Batman 125. I thought that was clever.
Right. Yeah, that was a 3.75 for you guys keeping track at home. So Chris is true to his word. That's the one that came out on top, Catwoman. All right, guys, it's between these two this week for me. It is also coincidentally the ones I did rate the highest. But I'm gonna give it to Do a Power Bomb.
Ooh, I thought you give it to Silver Coin. I did.
No. I give it to Do a Power Bomb. I was just held up Silver Coin though. It was close though. It was close, but I got to give it to Do a Power Bomb based off of the conclusion in this one. Really kind of surprised me, and genuinely I thought that was great. But it was very close between Silver Coin and this. Both really great contenders this week. So yeah, I'm
looking forward to that Sergeant Rock coming out soon.
Yes,
that horror one where versus the Army of the Dead. I haven't seen Sergeant Rock in like years and years and years, like 20, 30 years, and I love Sergeant Rock. I got Sergeant Rock with Superman in there somewhere.
Yeah, again, it's because they don't do many war comics anymore.
Yep.
It's very True, right? That's what I was trying to say. Like, and I love them too. So I'm very much looking forward to that as well. Just because they don't do them, they don't sell that well. I think that's why. Like, they don't do them anymore as much. So, but yeah, looking forward to that as well. And yeah, those are our favorite books of the week, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, hit that like button, hit us up in the comments, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of when these shows do come out. Usually Saturday every week. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and check out me and Chris talking about all about wrestling with co-host Lewis over on the Late Night Chat Network, our other YouTube channel here that we're affiliated with. Really, we came from there. It's a channel that I started with a bunch of my buddies, and it's kind of grew out from that. Sick X-Men shirt, by the way, because I did notice that today. If I didn't comment on it, is that a new one or no?
No, so I might have worn it out here before, but I figured,
Yeah, absolutely.
Judgment Day,
Yeah.
X-Men all the way.
So yeah, definitely check that out. It's episode 180 of Late Night Chat. It's gonna be coming out in a couple weeks after this show airs. Check the playlist over on Late Night Chat Network if you want to hear me and Chris talk about wrestling with our buddy Lewis. All right, that's it for this week, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Chris, thank you as always. Later, guys.
All right, later. Cheers.